Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the Valor SHL podcast. My name is ValorX77, and once again, I have a special guest here, and we have Waters here, which is my teammate from the Great Falls Grizzlies. Say hi to everybody.
Hey everybody, I'm excited to do this mock draft. I haven't actually looked at any of the picks before, so it's kind of a new. We're looking. I'm looking at this for the first time, so I'm pretty excited to get this done.
So to the viewers we have here, I'll explain how this works. These were based off the draft board here is based off the standings from Sunday. This was taken before the two sims on Labor Day and earlier today, which is Tuesday, September 3rd. We are in the final week of the SHL regular season, so I thought it would be a good time to put this mock together, one-round mock, to see what would happen. And just have some fun here, trying to speculate where we both end up, because we're both in this class.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where I draft myself.
Montreal with the first-round overall pick. If for those who don't know why Montreal has first overall, this pick was originally Edmonton's. They traded this pick during last year's draft, and I believe the pick they used was Muford, if I'm not mistaken. So let's take a look at Montreal's roster here. As you can see, they have a lot of prospects.
Yeah, something I noticed as well.
So basically, they have a lot of people there. But I also think by TPE wise, they're slightly underachieving, as what Oates said on his podcast, like he dropped a couple days ago. They have a lot of good people on here. You got Brick Wall back on the team. You got JFK. You got Zoot. You got Seven, who is a great pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Drunken Teddy. A lot of great guys in this roster. So, do we think they go best available here? Or based on here, what do you think their biggest need is?
Well, one thing I noticed when I was looking at this is they seem to have a lot of recreates, a lot of veterans, and I think that's kind of where I think they would go. They obviously don't have a need prospect-wise because they have drafted every position over and over and over. But I think their pick would likely be a high-profile recreate.
I definitely think they go recreate first overall. So let's go take a look at our board, which once again I've sorted. You have a lot of great options available. You got guys like myself, Lumosity, Valpix, Waters, who's also on here, Juke, Jason, S Fresh. You can't pick Candace because Candace is Manhattan's GM, if I'm not mistaken. So that's an auto pick to them. So word of advice for when the mock comes around, you got to make sure that Candace is not in your top 10.
That's very good to know because I did not know that until just now. So that's very useful.
Number 6 in this draft, Blix, Z-Wiz. You have a lot of high-profile recreates. I mean, this class is loaded with them.
Yeah.
And that's not even touching other ones like Spurbine, Elaris, Grey Pen, Micro, Evoc, among others.
Yeah, this is a very recreate-heavy class.
Very, very heavy recreate. I told the first gens via my media, you have to stand out because there's a lot of recreate.
Yeah.
And as of what I could tell, I felt like that they've struggled to stand out a little bit.
Yeah, but I think just by virtue of you're talking about new gen standing out?
Yeah. I've seen a couple standing out, like Aura, for example, was literally working with the stream team.
Yeah, but I haven't seen them in a bit.
I haven't seen them in a bit. They are they're still active, but TPE-wise, they're a bit slow growth. But I have a feeling that something tells me that either you might go first or somebody like S-Fresh could go first.
The person Blix. Let me know if you agree with this. The person I would have had here is probably Schwarznar. I think that makes
Schwarz is a very good pick at this one. Schwarz is a former GM of Chicago, so this makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's my thought. I agree, and with the first overall pick, the Montreal Patriots proudly select from the San Diego title Schwarzkopf. So let's do that, and boom, there we go. All right. So Minnesota's up next. Let's take a look at their roster. Looks like Minnesota has been doing a pretty good split between first gens and recreates, from what I can tell.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing is, I'm not sure what Eddie's going to do here. Now, I am good friends with him, but let's see.
What kind of members?
Taking a look at the roster.
Look for.
Because you got guys. You see Evox retiring, as you can see. Like, if they are retired, they have it on here, too. So, with the Mooses retiring, so they have a lot of guys in the farm system that could fill them up with defense. I feel like they once again could go best available.
They could.
But we'll see. I mean, so taking a look at the board, with Schwartz gone, they have to figure out, do we go first gen or do we? Because there's still a lot of great users on the board. Like, I could very well see the top 10 be all recreates from all I know.
It's very possible. For some reason, this felt like a new gen spot to me. I think they have prospects for sure, but it's definitely not the level of like Montreal or Edmonton or any of the
or even Seattle to some extent, because Seattle also has a deep one as well.
Yeah, so like what I would like to go in their spot if I were them would be to go new gen, and I think the one that impressed me the most so far is Ice Windu or Barkus Juno.
Yeah, Windu is probably the one that stands out the most. I've seen a lot of their media; it's quite good.
Yeah, I enjoy their media as well. They seem to have like a really good handle on like stats, and I think it's really interesting to read. I enjoy it a lot.
I think, I agree. I think they do take him at 2. Second overall pick from the Anchorage Armada, Ice Windu. Oh, shoot, not that. I almost opened up the SHL page by accident. And now we go to Chicago. This is a bit of a team in transition. They're trying to get out of the rebuild phase.
Yeah.
So let's pull up their roster. It appears that they have been heavily favoring mostly first gens, but I do see a couple big recreates on there.
Yeah, like Gaia.
You got guys like Gaia. You have XJoe, who's my partner in the graphics department and also for doing the banners for the Hall of Fame stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
guys,
they have a lot of different options they could go for here.
Yeah, you got a lot of people. I'm not sure what Nike was doing. I was actually speaking to Nike during when he accidentally pinged everybody in the fantasy Discord. So
yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, everybody was so mad. Like, you got people like him getting mad. Boom got mad. I mean, I could talk stories all I want during this to help stall time, but
yeah, I was pretty upset. I didn't say anything, but I was like,
I was just like, oh no. Anyway, you know that Jeremy Clarkson meme you've probably seen a million times.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we know about, of course, the Newfoundland Chicago pipeline. It's pretty.
We do know from the media that we've done.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have not read this before watching this video, what are you doing? First off,
true. Go read it.
Yes.
But yeah, so I think if you went Newfoundland here.
Yeah, let's see what the best Newfie available. Let's see here. I do see a couple of names. Oh, As Fresh could definitely seem like I definitely feel like either Zimmertech or but the Chicago need a goalie. Let's see. They just drafted Gaia 2 drafts ago, so I don't think they need a goalie.
Yeah, there's
also. I think the pick is probably As Fresh.
Okay, there's also Spurbin though.
There's also Spurb, who definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so they could go. They could also. There's I'm a newbie who's also in Newfoundland, so they have options here.
Yeah, you have a good you got a good first hand available in Yeti Taz. You also got Spurbine and also S Fresh available. So you got 3 good picks to fit the pipeline.
I'd be happy to put S Fresh down here. I think it's probably
I think S Fresh is probably the safest pick. So with the 3rd overall pick from the Newfoundland Berserkers. as fresh. So we're going for this we're doing quite fast. Hang on,
Yeah,
I gotta mute for a moment.
maybe we could go. Maybe we go a little longer. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if this is going to get edited out, but I guess I can just do some talking for a bit. Number 4 is of course a really, really interesting spot because I think Hamilton is not really the same Hamilton that we've kind of gotten to know. They have a lot of different possibilities for players.
Yeah, Hamilton is a bit of a strange one here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Halsey would do. Because,
Obviously,
let's see.
I have a lot of history with Hamilton. That is a fact.
You have a lot of history with Hamilton. So let's
do.
go pull up the roster. I see that they've gone mostly first gens, although I do see a couple recreates in this.
Yeah.
Big Sig Stevo, Nuck, Seji, among others.
Yeah.
And Tig and Puval. So you got a lot of good people on here.
Mm-hmm. I think if I wanted to go ego, I would put myself here, but I don't think I will. I think you could go for.
Let's take a look at Hamilton's pipeline from the
Yeah.
article. I think Hamilton's main pipeline was
right? Because of Alex.
Yeah, there was a lot of teams. I realized I probably should have pulled this up on my phone. Hang on.
Yeah. But there's no. I'm looking at this, and there's no whalers in the top.
Yeah, the Vancouver group. Take a look.
Yeah.
The highest person TV wise for Vancouver is a long way down.
Yeah. So they can't really go there. That's not even a draft.
That's literally both of these guys are waiver pickups apparently.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Maybe they didn't have that many picks in the draft. I think I remember that.
I don't think they take a Whalers player. I think they go best available. Something tells me.
I think so too. So if they want to go best available, they have. Again, this is the draft to go best available because there are so many options. It's insane.
You got so many great recreates available.
Yeah.
Because if you previously had a connection, this is the team that you could just snag somebody.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to put myself here. So I think somebody like Jason97 could go here because Halsey does know him. I've known him a bit.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that these two have a connection in the past. So
yeah.
So do we just go Jason here? I think we'll just go him here.
Yeah.
Maybe establishes a new pipeline between Colorado and
maybe
Hamilton, but I'm not sure that if Atlanta's going to be happy where they've pretty much founded the pipeline.
Yeah.
But we'll just do that. So 4th overall, Hamilton selects Jason97. Now we go to Seattle. Once again, I've said before, this team is in a bit of getting close to get out of the rebuild. You can see they got a lot of people in the farm system. You got Jurt, you got Steel Flex, you got Kez, you got Oates.
Yeah, this is a BPA spot again.
Once again, you also got Finn on the team. You got Rots. You got a lot of big name recreates.
Yeah. There's teams that when you go further down, there's going to be prospect issues. I did look at them it's there's some teams that only have forward prospects or only have defense prospects, but most of the teams early on here are really best player available spots. And so they could. Yeah, I think. I don't know. For some reason, New Gen's calling to me here. I don't have any reason.
I definitely could see them going to New Gen here and having all the veterans mentor the player.
Yeah.
Isn't that what's for the J? Isn't that what's the J's for anyway?
They're doing the J 2.0 over there.
Yes.
So yeah, but also somebody I could see is Blues. Again, I'm not really sure why. I just got to feel
Blues is definitely somebody that could go there.
It's like that fit.
Blues, I think, is a little bit lower in here, unless I can thought.
He's towards the top. He's 264.
He should be towards. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
He's with Anchorage. Yeah, Blues. I could very well see Hamilton taking him as well, but we'll see.
I also thought about that. That's very possible.
Because Blues has a big connection there. I could be wrong, and Blues ends up being the Hamilton pick.
Yeah, that's very possible. I did think about that.
I have a feeling Seattle would have no choice but to take him immediately after if Hamilton is dumb enough to pass on him because of the obvious connection.
Yeah, for sure. I think
so.
That's
in my opinion, they go Blues.
Yeah.
So pretty obvious pick. Blues goes number 5 to Seattle, and if I'm wrong, he's number 4 to Hamilton. So we go to the first Edmonton pick. And if I'm not mistaken, according to the standings, I believe this is not Edmonton's pick. Let me pull up. I have a tracker for all the picks.
Okay.
So Edmonton right now has this is Minnesota's pick.
Okay. Yeah, because they're the worst team in the league, aren't they?
Yeah, Edmonton's worst team in the league. And then somehow has to pick 6 because they don't have their own pick.
That's tough, but I think they have enough. They had enough of their picks last draft.
Let's take a look. Yeah, they already had 4 goddamn first-round picks.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the guys they take.
Yeah, they're good. Here's the thing, Edmonton.
They are just
good. They could trade out. They could trade out here. They could do whatever they wanted. They could do.
You want to know what's funny? They have 5 first-round picks next season in the SAD draft. I kid you not. This could be the time when they start buying up.
Yeah, they have to at some point.
They have to, and that's the draft they can use all the leverage for.
Yeah, the immediate jump that I made was Vulpix. I think that's...
Yeah, Vulpix definitely seems like a pretty obvious pick. Vulpix spent a good chunk of their career with Edmonton and then also Toronto if she somehow fell down there.
Yeah. But they do. I am noticing that goalie is an issue. So they might go goalie. They could go goalie, but I think they'd rather go goalie.
Because I feel like they'd probably go somewhere like Simbertech over Van because I hate to say it, Van is a bit of a controversial person.
Yeah, they could also.
I mean, they just got in trouble in PBE recently. I mean, they got banned for an entire season for questionable comments. I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
Because I do not want to get shot by HO again because I tampered in when I was IHFGM. Yeah, I was Japan's head for a long time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and now I'm Japan's co-GM.
And now you're Japan's co. You're essentially succeeding me. So I feel like something tells me this is Simmertech as the pick, but then yet again, I could be wrong.
If they went goalie, but I do think they'll go Vulpix. If they were in this.
Okay. Yeah, if there's probably Vulpix, and then hope like somebody like maybe they could get Van in the second round. We'll see, or get with their second because they do have another first later in the draft.
Yeah, they have. I think they have several. I might be.
They have 2. They have San Francisco's first later.
Yeah.
They
can go goalie there. There might be Symmetric on the board. There might be Grapehead as well.
Yeah, get somebody like Grapehead unless LA gets all triggered and then tries to throw a bunch of draft capital to get him. But
yeah,
you're pretty much in a window right now, so they could do it if like cap dump somebody and then just get a first and get Grapehead back.
Mm-hmm.
Easier said than done. Okay, so I'm saying ball picks here. Manhattan, this is their own pick. So Manhattan's an interesting team from what I've checked. They didn't pick anybody last season. Is it me or the prospect pool looks pretty thin right now?
It's very thin. It's very, very thin. Did we didn't end up do we end up going Suburban? No, we ended up going S-Fresh, right?
Suburban didn't go yet.
Yeah, so
Suburban, no.
That could be a pick.
That could very well be him. It's
yeah.
Suburban we haven't put in the yet.
I could see Manhattan going Nugent as well. There's a lot of possible options, but I think
I could very well see him going somebody like Yeti Taz, for example.
Yeah, I actually might like that more. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I definitely feel like this is a first gen pick.
Yeah, I think so too. But it just feels weird to have all these I mean, I knew it was like it's kind of inevitable, but like all these recreates that are so high up.
I saw this, I'm like, oh my god, it's almost going to be like near impossible to go in the first round of your new gen.
Yeah. But I think
Unless
it's
you
actually
could
the
somehow
recreates.
beat us out in scouting. Like, if you want to read there, read my dang article about my advice to the draft. It works for both drafts.
Yeah, I think this is actually I think it hurts recreates more because I think like you're gonna see people who have
Because somebody like me, I
Yeah.
definitely view myself as like a late first. Like, I'm not first overall material. Everybody knows I'm not first overall. I've already burned a couple bridges before, so
maybe after this player, who knows?
I mean, who maybe they changed their mind on this player? Well, I'm just sitting here on Izzy's head still.
Yeah.
Because remember, if I hear that asshole's name again, I'm just gonna berate him even more in my media. I'm allowed to shit on the guy as long as I want.
You are allowed.
I essentially got him blackballed, so
Yeah. Good riddance, in my opinion.
yeah, good riddance.
Good riddance.
Yeah, so let's get back to the conversation here and not. I mean, the banner is part of the podcast. What makes this great?
Yeah. So I think Yeti probably makes the most sense here.
Yeah, I agree. I pretty much said it was going to be Yeti.
Yeah.
So let's do that. I'm gonna say I'm a newbie goes number 7 to Manhattan. Okay, so Winnipeg. So these two are back to back Winnipeg picks. And according to the tracker, I'm pretty sure that these are their own pick and then Baltimore's pick.
I think
because they also have a first later on, which at 15, that's the Calgary pick.
Okay. I think this could be a goalie spot.
I definitely think wait a minute. Simmertech has a connection here. It's way too obvious that one of these picks has to be Simmer.
Yeah. Because I mean, they have.
This is legitimately a no-brainer.
They have Carpy, but he's S7.
They have Carpy, but Carpy's going to go.
They have no other goalie prospects. So
they have no other goalie. They have to take someone to complement Carpy, and they get called up right away.
Yeah.
So no-brainer pick. I'm going to say Simmertech goes 8, and then we'll figure out what they go from here. Okay, so let's take a look at Winnipeg's. You already looking at? I'll take a look here. As you can see, they have a lot of people taking last year's draft, mostly first gens. Oh yeah, I made up a lie saying that I thought Muford went to Edmonton, but it turns out I was wrong. He went to Winnipeg. Yeah. Oh no, my face when I lie on a podcast.
You're a liar.
Oh no, there goes my draft stock.
I think they go recreate probably with the other pick because there's.
Let's take a look at the board. They go back to back recreates. Simmertech was their pick, and they go best available. I don't know if anybody else has a connection to Winnipeg.
You'd be.
Do they go best available?
You'd know better than me
because right now you have you still on the board. They have Lumosity. I don't know what team Lumosity played last.
Where did Juke play last?
Yeah, those two. Hang on. I'm gonna go into the player portal and see where the two went. Okay, player. Not me. I'm gonna search by class.
But yeah, I mean,
they come very early, so let's see.
Everybody towards the top of the TP.
So Juke, let's see. Juke's was. Let's see, Juke. Let me see the user. Let's see. Historical players. They were previously selected by Manhattan. In the S53 draft.
Maybe we want to swap something. I don't know.
But they also won most of their cups in Chicago. So
I feel like I do remember that actually.
If you hear my dog in my background, I'm sorry. I can't control. He's a loud barker, so can't control that.
No, you can't.
So let's see. This is a tricky one. Once we get further down, it gets a little tricky here. I could see Winnipeg moving the pick, but we'll see.
I think a lot of these picks are movable. I don't know if we're.
At this point, they could just hope that somebody is available late.
I mean, even in the top in the top 10 in general, I think all those picks are movable if you wanted to.
Movable. But I do know, I think I know an obvious connection where I think I pretty much know where I'm going anyway.
Okay.
But we'll talk about it later on.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. All right, good. So
I think Juke has a connection to those two teams. And the next player you said you want to look at is...
I've only thought about... I've really only looked at Juke. I'm not really sure where else they could go because all the other picks off the board, as far as I can tell, maybe Grenadier or like all the people that I'm looking at right now on the top of the TPE list. If they want to go new gen, they could go lower.
The other guy I want to check was Luminosity Fan.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Now they came early as well. Let me see if I can find them. Okay, so Luminosity Fan. Do they have a previous player? They did. Their player was Jeff Newman. They didn't last very long, but they were in Minnesota. Yeah, it looks like they played in Minnesota.
Okay. So probably no real connections there if they didn't play that long.
No real connections there from Lumosity, but the only concern about him, will recreate, that bank account's kind of low. That's
true. But yeah, I don't expect him to go high even with the TP count. Because not too much history with the good players and count, but I think he should go first round.
I think they could go best available here.
Yeah,
with somebody like you still on the board, or
they could.
Because I already had Val picks go at 6, so do I just slot you in here or Blues fan? I think Blues still on the. I think Blues fans. Blues went at 5.
I was going to go Juke here. I don't want to put myself. I don't know why. I'm scared.
But, I think you're going top 10. That's not a question, but
probably. But I don't want to put myself there. So
come on, it isn't a podcast with a little bit of homerism.
I'm going to put Juke here.
We'll just put Juke here. Even though I tried to gaslight you into putting yourself there, but I guess it didn't work. So next, Buffalo. I think this is their own. I do not think this is their own pick. This is 100% not their own pick. Let's see. Buffalo. No, it is their own pick.
You lied.
Because how much of a cluster mess that division is. So Buffalo, let's take a look at their prospect pool. Now, they got a good amount of players in S78. You can see it's mostly first gens.
That's what I was seeing as well, and I think that's a strategy for them. I think they want to go most.
Unless they have somebody who had a previous collection like Vandy or Ragnar.
Yeah. And there's still
they could draft Vandabans, who's available, who was their goalie for a bit.
They could. They could
very well complete. As you can see, they
run new gens in the CP range like 260, 250.
For example, you got, like I said, I have a good feeling they take Vandabans here.
Okay. Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, so let's go with that. And we got at number 11, Nola.
It's my friend.
Now, I think this is me.
Okay.
I played Nola for a majority of my career with my previous player, Vidal Valor. Joe knows me well, and it seems way too obvious that this would be the pick. And if someone really wanted me, they're going to have to get ahead of Nola, because Nola does not have a pick again until the 3rd round.
All right, go off, King. Put yourself there.
So I'm just going to put myself at 11, and Joe's like, oh, we don't even need to scout you.
No.
Atlanta.
In the spirit of putting ourselves places, I'm gonna go. Might put myself here.
You're going to put yourself at 12. I was thinking somebody like Z-Wiz who has a pass there. You had
yes,
Paddles of Duck there.
I have been friends with Hot Dog and Mikkel for a long time. They've tried to draft me like the last 4 players, and they keep missing out barely.
Because you
So
end up with somebody like before Halsey steals you or something. It's always those darn Steelhawks.
Oh, it's the darn Steelhawks. So I think
Like I've learned,
I
I'm still mixed on them because I came in during when the Reign of Terror was going on, when they had pretty much had the advantage over everybody.
that's not.
That was a very dark time in the league.
It's a light time.
Unless you were on one of those big 4 teams of Chicago, Texas, Buffalo, and Hamilton. New England.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Luke would do here, since this is
Luke?
their own pick.
All right, Luke.
Once again, mostly first gens.
Mm-hmm. Is there,
Who?
trying to look at who I, because I kind of like looked at it preliminarily and like put names places.
They need a goalie because their current starter, their goalie's retiring. They need a goalie.
Evok.
Evok going to something. I don't know where Evok last played. I could see them getting drafted by Buffalo.
Yeah.
But I could also see them going Zan, but I'm not sure.
Hold on.
But then you also got somebody like Graypen available, so quite a few options for goalies.
Yeah. If I were them, I'd go Evok, I think.
Yeah. I'd say they go Evok. So yeah. Evok goes at 13. Toronto is up next. I just want to make sure we're not going too fast because I want to try to get this to an hour. I think we're at just past the 30-minute mark.
We're already at 13 picks. Maybe we can do some honorable mentions or something.
Honorable mentions about some people that we think go with obvious connections. So for Toronto's a bit of an interesting one. They're seemingly out of their rebuild.
Yeah, I have no idea.
As you can see, their trends most recently suggest that they're more first-gen oriented.
So, I guess who would I go here if I went first gen?
Who would I go here? Like we could go with somebody like Brenjar, which somebody have not brought up.
Yeah. I could go. I might want to go Biggins or Lumbermouth, maybe.
Like Biggins or what? Yeah.
One of the Malamutes guys.
Yeah, because they have the Yukon pipeline. Let's see. Because you got Bodie, you got Vanabins, who's gone. Can't do that. You could go Biggins or you could go Lumbermouth. Yeah. I think based on wait a minute. They have the same amount of money, almost the same amount of TB. They're not a multi, are they?
They're the same guy.
No way.
Same TP, same money, same team. It's just too much. There's too many coincidences.
Yeah, too many coincidences for not being multi-accusations.
Their names both sound like they're from like Alabama, you know? Like it's just too much. I don't know. I guess I would go Lumbermouth, I think. I'm not sure though. It is really a toss-up because obviously.
Yeah, I'd say Lumbermouth is probably the safer pick. But you don't know with these first gens.
You don't know.
The big test is coming up, and it's called Championship Week. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is the Calgary pick owned by Winnipeg. They already went with 2 recreates here. Do they complete a third recreate?
Why not? Why not go for 3
Why the heck not? Once again, peeking at their board. Because the best players available on the board, you still have Lumosity available, you still have Hockley available, you still have Duckling available. You still got Boating available.
Yeah, Blix.
I think they go Bodine. No way they let Blix fall that far.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of players. Maybe they do let Blix go that far.
There's a lot of great players that could fall late.
I think any name you see at this
you
point.
You literally got 2 rounds full of elite talent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I heard some people saying, I'm throwing this potential question, does the league need to expand soon because of all these players? Maybe. We'll see. I've spoken with HO. They said that they're close, but not close enough.
I think you always want to expand based on how full the teams are. If there's a lot of recreates, there's a lot of recreates. That just happens sometimes. But I don't know.
Stuff like Montreal is pretty full right now.
Some of these prospect pools are really insane.
If they get if S81 turns out to be a very large class,
yeah,
then I could see them pulling the trigger on an expansion of we do 4 teams, but then 2 don't join till later on, so they have a chance to build their prospect pool up.
The emergency expansion part 2. Were you there for that?
Which with the Atlanta and Seattle, then of course they had panicked and add Montreal and Philly.
No. For it was an SMJHL one, so it was they had too many draftees for the team, so they just put in two teams last second. I think it was Newfoundland and Nevada. Yeah, it was crazy. It was they just had to have two GMs just come up and take these teams.
Because the last time the J expanded was not too long ago with both San Diego and Ottawa.
Yeah. So that was a fun time. Might see that again.
So I'm going to just go Blix with the pick because
I like it.
I would like to say this is why are they Minnesota again? So this is their second pick. This is the third pick they have in this thing. And Minnesota has, this is the Texas Burst.
And they also have another first. I haven't seen that.
So they went with a first gen. I think they go recreate. Do they try again with Lumosity?
I think that could work. I think
something tells me that this pick could be Lumosity, or they could go first gen.
We're only.
This could be somebody like an Ailerus who is still on the board.
There's Abby Wass who's still on the board. There's Biggins who's still on the board. Tip Toasty's still on the board. There's a lot of new gens. Joe Anderson's he's a recreate, but I think I'm not sure if his last player did much. He's still on the board.
Yeah, you also get people like Yosh who's still on the board.
Hot Dog Lunch is still on the board. Classic name.
Yeah. So many people.
Yeah. So you could, and I don't know. Who has connections to Minnesota really? I'm not sure if there
are many people.
So, yeah, you might just go.
I don't think Ailerus has ever played for Minnesota. I think they were sounds like a New England person. I think.
Yeah, I think we could go really whoever we wanted here. I think Lumosity.
Yeah, this one.
I like this pick. I like Lumosity here.
I think they go best available, and I think they go Ailerus.
Okay. Yeah, I think that works too.
Okay, next up, Philly. So they're in an interesting spot. They're at a competitive window. They're heading towards a rebuild.
Well,
they only got one player last draft.
There's another pipeline spot with Anchorage. And I think
because huge Anchorage spot here.
Yeah. I don't know how active Nordic Naylor or Abby Wass is in the locker room, but he has been part of this really overperforming Anchorage trio of players.
Probably one of the, because if I'm not, they just dropped the midseason rankings. 7 just dropped the midseason rankings.
Yeah. And
And they
those guys
remain
might
the
be
top
top three.
favorites to win Rookie of the Essa Erican, which is their Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. So they could be top 3 for Rookie of the Year, all on the same team, all the same position.
Yeah, they could end up going in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, something tells me that this is going to be somebody like, they also could go Lumosity too because of the pipeline.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah.
But something tells me this could be Was here because Nordic seems like a good first gen available.
Yeah, but I have seen Lumosity around more than I've seen Was around, and so they would
Let's
know
just go
more.
Lumosity with the pick.
Yeah, they would know more than the people in the Anchors locker room who are going to be able to feed this information to Philly would know more than I do who's more active. But I would guess it's probably Lumosity between the two.
Okay, Tampa. So Tampa's just entering the beginning of their window.
Mm-hmm.
They also had a ton of people in S78. Once again, mostly first gens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have mostly first gens, so they probably could go recreate without worrying about it too much.
Yeah, because you also got a lot of great guys like ACAP, Smith, Calf, level veterans, Trella GMing, Ken Vold.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does Tampa really have any real pipelines recently, or
from what I remember, not really. Not sure. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what it would be.
Yeah, I think they go best available, and right now, I could just see them taking Hawkey over here, which that's someone that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think he's best available. You got to go him.
Mm-hmm.
Then finally, the last Minnesota pick, which is the pick that's the LA first. I think they go first gen here. Something tells me this is somebody like Papa John or Higgins.
I would love to get lunch here.
Yeah,
both
I definitely
Neil and the guy.
Yeah, I think it's too obvious that you have him there on the board.
Yeah,
I think he goes there, and then finally Edmonton for the last pick. This is obviously San Francisco.
This is kind of anticlimactic, but I feel like they can just go Grapehead or something like that because like they need a goalie.
Yeah, and then they just go Grapehead because they need a goalie, and then they just waited.
Yeah. So,
but they could also take Van because Van played in Edmonton for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But something tells me this is Grapehead.
Yeah, I think so too. And so that means that. I mean, who's still on the board here?
Duckling. Like you got. Let's see who's still on the board. You got Hockey who's still on the board. You got.
Well, we had
Duckling who's still on the board. You got Duckling who's still on the board. You got Micro who's still on the board. I'm not sure where he goes. You got.
I don't know. I have no idea either. He'd be somebody that I'd.
Micro's a very tricky person to predict because they have a tendency to dip in and out of the leagues and then reappear.
Well, right now they're pretty active, so it's hard to.
Right now they are pretty active, but something tells me that they're Baltimore's second round pick.
Yeah.
Way too obvious. They had a very great career in Baltimore with Sertivore.
I think Biggins is still here.
Biggins is still on the board. I definitely think that Edmonton is 21, so they could very well snag him there.
Yeah.
Because you also got guys like Samsung Virtual Assistant. That's one that could be a potential sneaky pick.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a long time ago, but I kind of remember him as a Minnesota guy.
Yeah, and Chicago, you got guys like McGritty who could be sneaky, or Zevdivins. That's another sneaky old veteran still around.
Oh yeah, Zach. I have no idea where Zach goes. Actually, Zach would probably be a first rounder most of the time, but I guess I don't know if that would be
most of the time. But because of how stupidly stacked this is probably the most stacked class we have in a long time.
Yeah, no, this is pretty crazy. And then we're not even talking about. I mean, I know points aren't really a thing in like mock drafts, but we're still not talking about the people who are dominating in terms of like rookie of the year point totals. Like Badger Hennessy has not. We didn't even. I don't think we mentioned him at all. And he's still on the board here, and he's like point per game right now in the SMJHL, so it's pretty nuts.
Where the heck is he on the stand? What team does he play for?
Plays for Nevada.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Isn't he a recreate too?
I think so. I believe so.
I think I've seen that name before.
Yeah, I have. Oh no, he definitely is. He definitely is a recreate. I think
definitely a recreate. I could see him going first round too.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that could go first. Now, I'm gonna just say like I have a few obvious connections like something like Baltimore, something like New Orleans. I technically burned a bridge in both Texas and Toronto because I wanted to try free agency in Toronto after that crazy 59-goal season I had. And Wally just traded me. Said Wally's like, enough of your fucking antics, kid. We're trading you.
I feel like we should be allowed to test free agency more. I don't think it should be.
The thing is, free agency has been, I think, or GMs have just gotten either too mentally soft about it, or like this has been a big problem across sim leagues in general. Loyalty is too strong of an element.
Yeah,
like my idea is we lower the cap and make GMs have to make tough decisions.
Ooh, I like that idea.
And that's kind of what we have to force expansion to occur. If we lower the cap, we have to expand.
But yeah, that is a fun
idea. That's a given.
Another person that, there's I've seen hold on, I might be losing his name. I've seen Tip Toasty talk a lot. He didn't.
Tip Toasty is someone I've seen a lot.
Yeah, we didn't mention him.
I said Yosh, who's definitely someone who could go a lot higher. Yosh is a goddamn GM, if I'm not mistaken.
He's definitely an SMJHL GM for sure.
Yeah. He's Thunder Bay's GM.
Yeah. And then there's Rengoku, who I haven't seen talk as much, but they are still earning. They're still towards the top of the new gens. So that's another person you could go for.
Yeah, once again, very stacked class.
It's just I mean, you could build 2 full rounds of people that could go in the first round, I think.
Yeah, this is probably a very loaded class.
Yeah. Because there's 37 people who have 250 TP or more.
Yeah, maybe 30 people at least 250 or higher, and that's going to get bigger as well.
Which is nuts because 250. I mean, I think you.
Yeah, if you have a lot of people at 250, and we could have like at least I see people in the 260s. We could have at least 10 to 15 people at that 300 mark by the time the draft comes around.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe more. We don't know. Like,
it's going to be hard to basically just like grade all the prospects and pretty much put them into like TP tier list of like elite or.
Yeah, you're definitely not making decisions based on TPE that much here because there's
at this point TPE is just going to be thrown out the window at this point.
Yeah, there's just so many possibilities you could go, and even bank. I mean, like. There's only the new gens or people who are struggling with bank. Like every
recreate. Well, because I mean, take a look at some of the recreates. You got myself at 117, S-Fresh 189, Shores 197 million, Blix 113.
I'm usually somebody who's struggling with bank, but I'm pretty healthy.
I bet you're not even counting Evok, who has probably one of the largest bank accounts in SHL right now at 357 million.
Yeah. And it's even funnier because like if you had like Evok and Sim playing non-goalies, then the whole top of the draft would be like completely different because he'd be picking up probably first and second.
Yeah, because this is literally probably this draft has a lot of anticipation on it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, basically, if you're on the stream team and you're working on like the board, you kind of know where you end up ahead of time.
Yeah. Which is,
That's the
I don't
fun
know.
thing when you're doing graphics on like PBE and ISFL. You get to know where you're going.
I don't know if I'd like that. I don't really
I
want to
mean, I
know.
wouldn't mind. Like the draft, I was going to get picked in BBE. I got hired for draft graphics. Got to do my own swap. I'm like, I saw what you did there. I just did that comment, and the GM's
Yeah.
like, how the hell? And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude,
Uh,
draft graphics. I'm allowed to know. Since you're a GM, you're one of the few people that I actually can share this information with.
one thing also is that there's no like, I mean, no team really seemed to like have a ton of people like in the top of the TPE class. Like
Yeah,
we have our two guys, Great
who
Falls,
are
and then
currently the
everything.
top two dogs in TPE, no doubt.
Yeah, yeah, and you have everything like it feels like every single team has somebody. Nobody's like really horrible. I mean, I think St. Louis and Vancouver, they have to scroll down pretty far to find them. But
Yeah, I
other than
mean,
that,
although they do have pretty good TPE wise for waiver pickups, so
yeah, they did well on waivers. Maine did just really weirdly well for a team that didn't pick until the end of the third round. Um, they
Maine
got
because
three
they end up
two.
getting somebody like Wildfire Micro, who is a bit of a
Yeah,
tricky one.
and they got like two other 250 TP guys really late in the
Yeah,
draft. They killed it.
yeah,
Um,
let's see what they got here. Let me scroll. Yeah, because they got Snyder. They also got and Luchard. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty much a good point on how good of a GM Southpaw is.
yeah, no, and then I mean, obviously their record is insane right now. I don't know if they've
Yeah,
lost
it's
10
pretty much
games.
a dogfight. And speaking of which, let's take a look at. You want to take a brief look into like the current standings
I I
and
think I
like
don't think
current
Maine, I
stuff?
don't think Maine's lost 10 games yet. Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at SHL analytics. So here it is. At least at the current ones, not S80 because that's S79. Let's take a look at the board, shall we?
Mm-hmm. Let's take a
It's
look.
going to take a little bit to load, but
Yeah, so yeah, I just looked. Maine has nine losses in regulation, 4 in OT. So they've only lost 13 games.
they're not even a gosh darn. Okay, so it's taking a while to load because I'm sharing the screen. I guess it doesn't like it. Oh, let me go back. So let's go forwards. You take a look. Look at the people right now.
Yeah.
Like you can see, myself 282, Lumosity 275, Valpix 275. I'll mark you as 284 for now.
Yeah.
Look, you got 1, 2, 3. You got like, oh my gosh, you have 7 people that are above 270 right now. That's not even counting the defense. That number goes up to 10.
Yeah. Again, yeah, you see Windu there. I really think he should be the top first gen off the board. It's
Yeah,
really,
Windu is 100%. If he's not the first gen off the board, I don't know what the GMs are thinking.
which is really interesting because I wouldn't like when we looked at SMJHL, I never saw his name come up. I don't know if he went in the first 2 rounds. He probably did, but I don't remember. I don't remember hearing about him at all. And now I kind of feel like it's really clear that he's the best one. So it's interesting how far he's come from there. But yeah, I mean, there's so many. Yeah, we could go on and on about Stack. We
can go on and on and on. I mean, it's crazy to think that we're about 4 weeks out from the draft. They might move it up a little bit because if the playoffs go hyper fast, I hope they move it up to that weekend.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Because GM's going to have to start rapid fire scouting because I expect scouting messages like as early as the weekend.
I'm surprised teams that are not like anywhere close to the playoffs haven't started dipping into scouting at all, or at least
like some teams like Chicago. I even caught Nike sleeping about that. He's like,
Yeah.
oh shit. Like, I even literally made a joke post about on like SHL discussion creating this joke Valstar ranking system that I made
Mm-hmm.
that literally has all of the prospects, and each sheet is sorted by each J team they came from.
And what were the
So
results?
yeah,
Who was the top ranked?
top ranked based on there. I think it's either myself, which is kind of selfish, but to think of it.
I love
Evok's kind of
that.
high because of the bank account, because it kind of factors on two things: bank account and TPE.
I love that you made a rating system that put yourself first. I think that's really funny. Like, I love that.
It seems like it's like, but you know I'm gonna fall. I'm not first overall. If I go like top 10, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be surprised.
But you're gonna get up there in TPE. You're gonna have enough points. Like, it doesn't really. I guess it doesn't really matter as much as it
At
probably
this
sucks.
point, GMs are gonna look at this episode and they're like, some of these are like, is this the annual Valor loses his mind podcast?
Yeah.
Well then, I think this is. Let's look at the board one more time of what we have put together. Note the order could very well change because of the playoff, and it will change. But this is what me and Waters think as of right now. This is probably the earliest mock you can do.
And I'm sure
And
there'll be trades here. I'm sure like a
and
lot
I'm
of
sure the GMs are going to look at this like, how can we sabotage this, and how do we destroy
Yeah.
Valor's head?
Yeah.
How
No,
do we
there's
give Valor another anxiety attack on the draft stream again?
I don't honestly like this is just us trying to do our best, but I don't think there's any way to know really
Like,
where
you could literally put anybody who is at 250 plus in the top 20, and you
Yeah.
can't go wrong.
Easily. There's there's really very little people you could go wrong with right now in this draft. Like, it's insane. Like, there really is.
This is absolutely insanity.
Yeah. Like, Blix could go first, and we have him at 15th.
Yeah, we could see somebody like, I put on a list of a few people who I think could go first. Obvious ones are like Schwarz, S Fresh, you.
I love that. I don't think it'll happen, but I love that. It'd be fun.
Like guys like you, Blues, Simmertech, Spurbine, Juke. There's at least 5 or 6 people that have the first overall pick potential.
Yeah.
But I could be very wrong and watch some like, if Ice Windu ends up going first overall, I'm not going to be surprised.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
Because this person is, in my opinion, as of right now, the only first-gen player who could very well be the first overall pick.
I think so.
So, and if you first-gens hear this, I hate to give you the news, but you're slacking. You need to. This is your wake-up call. Start making more money and start earning.
But also enjoy your time on the site.
Enjoy your time at the J. If you have any questions, always ask your GMs. Or you can ask me or Waters. We can help you out. Because we've been in this league for quite a while. So.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I
think that should be enough time. Let's see, 58 minutes. So I feel like we should go on a little bit.
Right,
so
yeah,
I already said with my NOLA prediction. Do you have a prediction on where you end up?
I could see Hamilton at 4. I could see Atlanta very much.
Hamilton at 4.
I could see
Atlanta
Edmonton
at 12.
I could see.
But I'm telling you, there's no way you're there past 10. No way.
I mean, really, here's the thing: is that I really didn't think I would go in the first round of the J draft, and I randomly went 5th. And so I really
based on my Santa conversation, I'm like, I'm probably late first, early second, and then I see Great Falls, which they didn't initially reach out to me, so I had to send them a reverse scouting message, and they took me at 24.
Yeah, it was the same thing for me. I mean, I didn't send them a message, but they got to me like maybe the day of the draft. So I definitely was shocked to see myself at fifth. But
Yeah, like I have to be able to be on the lookout for like super late stuff, like if you know their draft. But this is a live draft, so
yeah,
if they contact you day of the draft, good chance you end up there.
yeah. But yeah,
Or
I
if
mean,
you have a pipeline, they don't even. Some teams don't even have to contact you. Like they can just like no, like New Orleans doesn't have to contact me. They already know my reputation. They know how I act.
yeah, same thing for me.
Because
And
Joey's GM me in multiple leagues.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think I could go to Hamilton. I think I'd go to Edmonton if Vulpix isn't there at 6, and I'm there.
Yeah.
I think
Something
I could
tells
go.
me
I think I go
that
Atlanta. I
I'm
think I
Nolan's
go.
pick. And right
Everything.
now, I'm pretty convinced it's New Orleans. And I'm going to be shocked if it's anywhere else. So if you feel like you want to have a chance at me, my advice is you jump Nolan's pick.
All right.
So
Keep that in mind,
anyway, I
TMs.
think that is going to be it for us here. We've hit the hour mark. And if you're somehow still listening to us, congratulations. Hopefully you're not asleep by now. If so, it's time to wake up out of your sleep and realize what you're doing with your life. You should be doing other things, not listening to us for an hour.
I don't know. I think we're very entertaining.
Or if you're a rookie and you realize, hey, have you done your deep dives yet? Do them.
Yeah, do your deep dives.
Do your deep dives, do your task, or else you're going to fall on the board. You do not want that.
Don't want to fall.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning into this. And on behalf of myself and Waters, best of luck to all the rookies coming into this draft in a few weeks. And this is both of us signing off.
Bye, guys.